Welcome to the Reticle Up podcast, where I, 3-Gun Kenzie, will be interviewing competitive shooters, hunters, fishermen, archers, entrepreneurs, and outdoorsmen. Come learn with me as I interview people from all walks of life, in different disciplines, all across the world, from novices to professionals of all ages. No matter what, everyone has something they can teach you, so come join me on the journey. Welcome back, everyone, to the Reticle Up podcast. I'm really excited for this episode. I've got Keith, who goes by KB, and his business partner, David, on. We're talking about 51Fifty and their new rifle, which I'm really excited about. So, Keith, David, how are we?
Awesome. How are you?
Doing good. I'm excited.
I'm grand. How are you?
You've got to start with SHOT Show because you guys had an awesome show.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, and David was there too. So
I was,
at least in body, not in the mental, right?
No, we definitely had a lot of fun. Seemed like the booth was more active than any of the years I've been to the SHOT Show, compared to the booths that I have been in. And I think we noticed a couple of times where we would get a dwell and it would only be for like a couple of minutes and then we were slammed again. So yeah, it was definitely a good show.
That is awesome. So was that y'all's first SHOT Show with 51Fifty?
It's our first SHOT Show displaying, yes. 51Fifty and Optimum, we've had collaborations of guns or themed guns or whatever, the crazy one-offs that we got known for the last few years at SHOT Show. But this is our first year having our own products and our own booth to display. Super
cool. Yeah, so the dynamic between you two, do you want to explain, KB, kind of like how 51Fifty and then David with his business, Optimum Parts, kind of work together?
Go ahead, Dave.
Well, it's so I'll go back to when it started. It was SHOT Show 2018, and Keith walked up to my booth, and he just wanted. And I went, well, you look like a really cool guy. I got to give. So that was the relationship starting.
Wow, that's one-sided.
We started doing components for his builds, the handguards, the
brakes,
scope mounts, brakes, stuff like that, and it was all for a great cause. No matter what the cause was, it was always a brilliant cause, and we had no issues in contributing to it. So from there, I think that Mr. Berry realized that he could probably start a business selling guns, and that was the approach.
Yeah.
So we've been working.
What was that? You broke up, David.
I said it's been working how it's been working. So,
Yeah. David and I spent the last 2 years with this idea of evolving the AR platform, which hence the name of our rifle platform is Evolve, and getting rid of the nuisance pins and springs and detents and making it ultimately more shooter or user adjustable. And the system was designed with input from law enforcement, current and prior service military, competitive shooters such as yourself, as well as a lot of women. My wife's a very petite woman, small hands, built her first rifle a year ago and left the room cursing about the pins and springs and all that as they're shooting across the room. And I believe her exact words were something like, "Who fucking designed this? Must have been a fucking man."
Yeah, of course.
And she left the room.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to piss her off. Trust me, you don't want to piss this woman off.
No, it's a nightmare. I just built a rifle 2 days ago, and I have to use a credit card to hold down the detent and slide in the pin real quick. So, yeah, that's awesome.
Well, with ours, you don't have to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. So, moment everybody's been waiting for, I guess, right? So if you're listening to this podcast, I highly recommend either pausing and going on YouTube and watching this, or watch it later. So let's talk about the Evolve rifle. What is it? What's this new part that you've designed, and how have we done away with the pins?
So this is our baby. This is actually serial number 1. So David and I had so much confidence in all the work we spent the last 2 years putting in this gun. We actually had a SHOT Show booth paid for with no gun.
No way.
No
gun.
No gun. December 15th, this was assembled and test fired for the first time. Yeah, 1 month before SHOT Show.
Solid.
So it's the Evolved rifle featuring our rapid action cam. If you look at the lever right here, literally it's on both sides of the gun. So ambidextrous, okay? Literally just rotate the cam, go to 90 degrees, lift your upper off. That's simple. Put it back on. You can hear it lock in place, okay? And it's completely user adjustable through the end plate here. There's actually 2 little screws that you adjust your pressure. So you can adjust from 3 pounds of pressure to 14 pounds of pressure for your engaged, disengaged, depending on how you're going to be using the gun or what caliber you're running.
Nice.
Most importantly, if you have hand or dexterity issues, it's no longer an issue. You don't have to beat on your gun with pins or find a tool to break your gun down. Law enforcement like it because now they can have a long barrel for the exterior of a building, and then less than 10 seconds, they can swap out to a little shorty like this to go interior. Hunters, they can have one lower that they're really comfortable with how it's set up and adjusted, and have a box full of barreled uppers of different lengths or calibers for what they're going to be shooting or hunting that day.
Simple.
And it's not interchangeable with anybody else's, just to make that point.
Yeah. It is our patent pending system. Yeah, right now, as of right now, before that question comes up, because it does every time David and I talk about it, there is not a retrofit currently available.
Right. Now, tell me about the tension on the safety, too. You made that upgrade as well, right?
So that's something we've been working on this week. David, you're the engineering side of this.
Yeah. Tell me all the specs, David.
Enlighten me. What am I talking about?
All right.
The adjustable pressure on the safety.
Yeah.
On the safety switch or on the rear end?
Yeah. On the safety switch, how we're going to be able to adjust the pressure. Remember?
Oh, yes. Oh. We're working. So
we've been drinking. No.
No, not yet. I should. I should start.
It would help.
So if you look at the way it's set up right now, you have a plunger, you have a spring, and the spring goes inside the pistol grip. So if for some stupid reason you're in the field and it gets knocked off, breaks, shouldn't happen, but you never know. If it's hit hard enough, it could knock it off. Now you're screwed. Mm-hmm. You don't have a detent to hold your safety in at this point. So what we're trying to do is get rid of that. So we would put in a spring plunger system similar to what's on our takedown, and it will be adjustable for pressure.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, the other upgrade, right, KB, correct me if I'm wrong, was the integrated Handguard offset dot mount, correct? Yes. And the Arca Swiss rail. So walk me through this.
That's simple. Unlock it from the rail. You can see the Arca shape all the way down.
So cool. Super
Damn,
cool.
that's some really good craftsmanship.
That really is. David used to be Tom. He did a great job. The only thing that's not on this final production model is that we're integrating is right about here. Just forward of the barrel nut will be on either side, direct 45-degree red dot mounting.
Super cool.
And as well as there'll be QD mounts for your slings front and rear.
That's awesome.
And be a little more slotting. You still have your full M-lock all the way around for all your accessories, whatever you want to do.
And we'll take weight out of it. Yeah, we'll put slots.
Yeah.
We'll put slots in it for cooling, take weight out of it.
Yeah. And then obviously this one features David's pride and joy.
All of them.
Optimum mount. Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you can talk a little bit about that, David. We've got your mounts on here.
Okay. So this is all patented. in the scope mount, there's a patent on how it's clamped to the rail. The mount itself is line board to different sizes: 30 millimeter, 34 millimeter, and 35 millimeter. We're offering 0 MOA, 10, 20, 30, and 40 MOA for depending on what range you're going out to. The one that Keith showed you was a cantilevered one, the one that's mounted. That's typically for an AR style platform. The one he's holding in his hand right now is for more longer distance shooting, and it's currently used by a shooter that shot in the King of the 2 Mile. If you hold it up again, Keith, he'll show you that it's got a deployable level on it.
No way.
Right there.
That's so cool.
So that was as a result of a friend of ours requesting me to have a bubble mount the next time I saw him. And I put it on the table and he did not see it. So I pushed it out and he flipped. So it's very, very effective, according to the main shooter that we use to mount his scopes. He's got 3 of them and he wants another one. He loves the bubble. So, yeah. But not just the bubble part of it. The patented part of it is how it clamps to the rail. So most clamping systems go through the Picatinny with a screw,
right?
And there's still you run the risk of, if you hit it, it still has the gap between the screw and the sidewalls to move. Right. It's not a huge amount of movement if it does get hit, but you're going to throw your 0 off if you hit it hard enough. In ours, we've actually thrown it out of a 3rd-story window to see if it moved, and it doesn't move because we don't clamp it that way.
Yeah,
we clamp across the top of the Picatinny at an angle, and we actually grab the castellation of the Picatinny in a forward-backward motion. So we're clamping to the true Stanag standard. Wow. In all directions. The best part of it is it wedges itself in there. So if you try to take it off, you can undo the screws and take them out. It still won't come off. You have to put the screw back in and physically bang it to get it to move off the rail. So I'm going to say we wanted to introduce this a couple of years ago, but the SHOT Show was canceled, so it didn't happen. And I'm not anywhere near material to be a marketing guy. I make the parts, but selling them, that's going to be Keith's job. So all our marketing basically has happened this year starting at the SHOT Show. And you know, thank God we hooked up with Keith because he's the one that's been pushing a lot of it.
Now, are these mounts not out yet on the market, or they're coming as well?
No, we'll say they're on the market, but he'll tell you, and I'll tell you,
website design issue like I am.
The website's killing us.
Okay.
So, I mean, we do have some in inventory. I have stuff that I have to make for a show. So, you know, we'll be putting it out there, but you know, we're small, we're not big. I can't just machine a ton of stuff and have it sitting in inventory and hope that it sells.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that this gets out there, moving forward pretty quickly, and yes, we'll have it available.
When they go live, when our website goes live in the next 3 days, they will actually all be listed in the various MOAs and reticle heights on our website.
Okay, cool. Very neat. Do you have a record, David, of how far the longest shot was with that mount so far? I'm just kind of curious.
Shane shot to, he didn't get to shoot the 2 mile, but he went out to like 1.8, 1.9 miles.
So cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
My friend's getting into the extreme long rifle competition shooting and she loves it. That's too much math for me, but I thought that's really neat.
Why is it too much mount?
No,
How far
too
did
much
you shoot?
math. Too much math for me.
Oh,
So
math.
like
Sorry.
yeah.
Put your mouth.
So again, like 2 nights ago, building rifles, and I put together another AR-15, and then I had to put the NRL-22 rifle together. But yeah, a million different scope levels, and then my vise is not level, and my bench is not level. So then we had to like do the whole thing in the hallway. So it was a catastrophe of books and bags. It was just weird. Make it work.
Wonderful.
So I'm calling you after this episode.
Okay.
Oh man. So okay, tell me too, KB, when you were coming up with this design, first of all, how many years ago did you even like put this on paper and pen?
I started rough sketching things 3 or 4 years ago out of frustration. So basically doing these themed builds and stuff that would come up with, I'd find parts that were close enough to make what we wanted to do possible, and then we'd end up modifying them.
Okay.
To do the theme or whatever it is we're trying to do. I mean, to the point sometimes we're welding them up and then machining them down.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just started doing that, and it purely came about out of that frustration. And then, interviewing for the cam system, but the shape came about. My wife, she's like, why does every gun look like a guy with a ruler drew it? Especially ARs. Why don't they have, flow and have lines, like a woman? So I'm like, okay, well, the only thing more dangerous than a gun is a pissed off woman. So let's make the gun curvy. So, so we wanted to have a natural flow. But even little things, by doing it that way, our trigger guard is huge.
Yeah.
We have some friends. There's a guy who lives across the street from me. He's 6'8". He's massive. Got giant hands.
It's not that big. Until I stand beside him.
But we want to, bigger guys who have bigger hands to be able to wear their gloves and still put their hands inside the trigger well.
Yeah.
Trigger guard. So
not just that, but like if you have trigger shoes, you don't have to take the whole thing out or open it up. You just slide it on.
Exactly. No matter what trigger you're running, you can get your finger in there. You can comfortably operate things. No matter how big your hands are, how big your gloves are. Someone up in Montana is really effing cold, decides they're going hunting, and they got Gore-Tex gloves on. They can still put their finger in there and pull the trigger if they need to or want to.
Yeah.
But also by doing the arc, that curve on like the AR-15, I think David said we took about an inch out of the Magwell. So
Wow.
an inch of length. So you now have less travel, faster lockup for your mags. And then David worked the whole interior of the Magwell around a Magpul 20 round mag because they're the hardest to drop.
Yeah.
They don't drop out of Magwells. So
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Now they do.
They do. Yeah. So it was just about, we didn't want our gun in function or form to look like or feel like anybody else is on the market, because it's not like anybody else is on the market.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a whole new concept. Now, walk me through like the prototype process, when you're drawing something, handing it to David, and he's like, do this. And then do you 3D print?
He didn't.
No.
He didn't. he gave me what he had, and I had to do it myself.
So, David, how'd you learn all this? Did you go to school for this?
No, I stayed at the Holiday Inn Express last night.
Wait, I don't know who let this dude out.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you
So
ever?
I went to school for engineering in Ireland when I was growing up, and then I came over here, and
Now you're here.
I love doing it. So it's fun to do, and then see an end product like this, and then come to my house and hope and pray that it fires without something blowing up.
Yep. So, okay, coming over to the States too, David, Ireland's not very gun friendly. So how did you even get into the firearms industry? Was it back then or when you came to the States?
Do I have to?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how that happened.
My wife's cousin was dating a guy who worked for Troy Industries.
Okay.
And they found out that our machine shop isn't just machining, it's designing and machining as well. So a lot of that stuff Marty will do the machining. I'll do the design work. So we did the majority of their handguards. We designed them and we built them. And then we moved on to some other stuff. He moved on. And that was kind of us in the gun industry for accessories.
Okay.
It's a cutthroat industry, and we've gotten screwed so many times we decided to do it ourselves. And a lot of that Keith helped out with. So the fact that we're doing guns, we have our own FFL and our SOT2, so we can make guns under our own envelope and our own name. So that's it. That's basically how we got into doing guns. Okay. Me myself, I'm not a huge gun guy. I was never a huge gun guy, but I'm afraid I'm in it now. So
yeah, you never planned. So looking back, you never would have planned that this is how your life would have turned out. Making
right and doing this.
Okay.
Right, correct.
Okay.
Right.
KB, what about you? What's your background with firearms, and how did you think you would end up actually doing what you're doing right now?
No, for sure, not at all. At 4 years old, my dad introduced me to firearms, started shooting, hunting, all this stuff. Growing up doing it, I actually hadn't even shot or built my first AR-15 before 2015.
Yeah.
And then I built my first one just to say thank you to my dad for his Vietnam service and just for being an awesome dad. And then then my wife wanted her gun Medusa to match some high heels, so I designed that gun and we built that. But then around that same time is when those 5 officers were ambushed and killed in Dallas, and we reached out to the at the time Dallas Fallen Officers Foundation, which is now merged and dissolved and merged with the National Fallen Officers Foundation. Sergeant Trey Penny, formerly of the Dallas PD, still very, very close friends with him. And we built a rifle that was auctioned off to benefit the families of the 5 fallen officers. And that kind of right there. So initially my dad is kind of the springboard, but that really was Sun Optics at the time, which is since the people that I was friends with have retired and sold the company off, said, hey, we got an extra ticket to SHOT Show. You're coming. We're paying for your hotel. Just get your butt out to Vegas. And it's just, that was actually the year I met David, and we were at David and Mama D and I were talking about
best year of your life.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Best year of his life.
Yeah. I know. My life has definitely never been the same.
That's like saying it nicely, very nicely. Now,
and that relationship started with David there. I met Randy Couture that year, and he asked us to build a rifle for his charity, and it's just slowly grown from there. And what we designed was influenced by the crazy one-offs we were doing, and the lack of shape, the lack of any kind of difference in products, and just really just the lack of any ingenuity or innovation.
Yeah.
And I was in the car business for the last 19 years, and 20 years before that, I was in for 20 years plus before that. My family, I'm a 3rd generation printer. But I was around graphic artists and, that creative mindset. I have a very mechanical brain. So thankfully, David, I literally will come up with a concept and write it down or draw it on a piece of paper, send it to David and ask him, is this possible? And I usually know it's a good sign if he goes, oh, you fucking asshole.
I was going to say just that.
If he says that, I know it's possible.
It's possible. It's just going to take a minute.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. Now, I've seen the pictures of the Medusa, and then there was like a Walking Dead one too, right?
Yeah, that's Fanatic. That was actually built for United Military Care in Georgia.
Okay.
Great organization. They actually help get homeless vets off the street, but also help them from backsliding and ending back up on the street. So, they come in and they need groceries, or hey, I paid my rent, but I'm short on utilities, or vice versa, or whatever. Then they help them out. 100% of their proceeds go to help vets. They do not take a dime for themselves. and we lived in Georgia for a little over a year, and ran into them and did some research and wanted to help them out. So we built that gun for that. Unfortunately, it took a while because it was hand painted.
Yeah.
So by the time it was done, COVID happened. So could not do any kind of events or get it out to them. So we actually have a grand opening or a launch party on February 19th, and we're going to try and silent auction it there. If that doesn't work, then we're going to send it to Georgia and hopefully link them up with someone that'll help them do some sort of auction to raise money so that they can keep helping the vets out.
So how can people like us or the community learn more? Or is there a link, or will there be a link, to help?
Yes. So all the charities that we support, we actually put their icons on our page on the About Us. Okay. And those icons are actually hyperlinks that'll take you right to their website so that you can donate, learn about their organization, get involved whatever level you can or want to.
Yeah.
The military ones, it's Randy Couture's charity, Extreme Couture GI Foundation, United Military Care, and Veteran Outdoors here in Texas. And then the law enforcement was 3, but 2 of them have combined. So now it's just the Texas Fallen Officers Foundation and the National Fallen Officers Foundation that we're currently associated with. And my wife's brother is actually moving to Texas, and he served in the Army. He was 2-1 Cav. He's actually going to be in charge of doing the vetting and outreach and everything else with the charities, because David feels as passionate about helping these people as we do. And that's another reason that we just click and work well.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this to get rich. One, I want people to have the best, most reliable gun they can have in their hands, no matter what the purpose. If it's defending their family, going to the range, shooting competition, or hunting, I just want to know that our gun's going to get it all done. Yeah. But also, we want to be able to have a steady enough stream of income that we can help the things that are important to us. It's not about us getting rich. It's about us helping as many people with a hand up, not a handout.
Yeah. It's interesting. When I tell people this, they don't really believe me or get it, that are not in the industry, but I'm like, the firearms industry actually has changed my life. They do a lot more good for charitable organizations than you can even imagine. They save lives, and people are like, what are you talking about? Right? It's like, look at all the good that selling a firearm does. It sounds silly, but that simpleness too, is really powerful. So I like that. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, okay, question about SHOT Show too, because it's kind of controversial-ish, right? So both David, KB weigh in on this thing. So 2022 was a little less attended. I thought it was like one of the best SHOT Shows ever. I thought it was very good to connect with more people that are really interested and dedicated to, growing their businesses. Do you think that, SHOT Show is something that businesses really need to be at, or do you see that kind of going away? Like, what are your thoughts on this year and onward?
I personally, I've been going to SHOT Show since 2018, and I actually like the fact there was, excuse how I'm going to put this, but there was not as much of the social media influencer circus.
Yeah.
There wasn't this sideshow circus going on. It was, there was still some celebrities there, but they weren't doing any crazy stuff. They were actually there to learn about guns, learn about the products, and be involved.
Yeah.
And I like that. And the people who were there were serious about learning about your product. For us, I think it was an absolute success. I think David and Mama D would agree. We already are talking about the fact that our first year, we had a 10x20, and it was not big enough for the amount of traffic we had in our booth. We were spilling over into other booths and the aisle.
Hey, they should thank you for the traffic, by the way.
The fact that we had beer and bourbon might have had given the reason to do that, but it certainly wasn't big enough.
So I think that came from you, David, because you said that you're not into marketing, but bourbon, done. Number one marketing right there.
Well, actually, that was Keith. He brought that.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys make a good team. Okay. No, I think that's awesome. So, David, what are your thoughts too? Is just, how valuable is SHOT Show? Is it still valuable, for businesses, or, what do you think?
Honestly, like Keith said, we had a great SHOT Show. And I think that booths that were around us, I didn't get to walk around. This is the first SHOT Show that I didn't actually walk around and go see what else was going on, only because we were so busy. But the SHOT Show is not cheap. It's extremely expensive to go to the SHOT Show, and a lot of big people didn't turn up. A lot of small people didn't turn up, and we saw booths that were empty. But I think if in hindsight, if those companies were able to see into the future and see how this SHOT Show was, I think they would have changed their minds and gone to the SHOT Show this year, only because of the fact that people were interested.
Yeah.
They were there strictly to find out what's the latest and greatest, what can I get, and when can I get it.
Yeah. And a lot of serious dealers. I mean, you can't stop business. Just,
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of serious dealers.
That was my same thoughts. I definitely similar thoughts. Just some better connectivity, less FUDs running around, or people that are just media pictures, this, and need patches. It's like, I'm a patch person, but I actually care about the patches that I get or companies that I love. And I learned a lot about stuff, but man, it went fast. It did go fast this year. I think 2 days I didn't even leave a booth, and then blink, and I was like, crap, I have booths to go visit. So
no, I totally agree.
Yeah. Now, you might not be able to answer this. Is there any story that happened in Vegas that you can tell about what happened in Vegas?
He did not get married.
I was going to say, you know how what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Is there anything that didn't stay in Vegas that we can talk about?
Yeah, so I had negotiated with my wife to get married by Midget Elvis, remarried by Midget Elvis. But my wife says that I have to redo the proposal and get it right before I get to get married by Midget Elvis. So
I went with my tux. Actually, it was not a tux. I went with my kilt and didn't do it.
You flew with a kilt and he didn't get married? Oh, I'd be pissed.
No, but it sounds good.
Oh, no. It does.
he just looks for a reason to wear the kilt. He likes wearing a dress.
Do. I mean, it's fun.
It is. We have a guy in our community that totally wears a kilt when he shoots guns. And I'm like, I get it, because I'm a female. I know what it feels like down there. Let it breathe.
Are you talking about Kevin Kalinda?
Kevin Kalinda?
Yeah, Kevin. Oh, man, I love it. Wait.
He'll be here for our launch party.
Good. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that actually. So are you guys only in online? Are you doing a brick and mortar store as well? What does the launch party look like?
So the launch party is going to be at R2 Ammo, Round 2 Ammo in Liberty Hill, Texas. And these guys are awesome. Matt owns and runs it. It's an ammo store and gun store. He signed on to be our first dealer before even seeing a picture of our rifle. That's cool. Just said, nope, I'm in. We're doing it.
Yeah.
And said, hey, you know what? I'm going to do you one better. We're going to shut down for a day, and it's going to be your day, and we're going to do a launch party. And he's invited, I think he said 200 to 300 people is what he's expecting. We have people flying in from all over the country. And some we just met at SHOT Show are flying in to be part of it. We do not have a brick and mortar store. I do not want a brick and mortar store.
Yeah.
I do not want a brick and mortar store.
I don't think that's the way of the future. So
no, the whole business model is obviously you can go on, pick your standard length AR-15, equip it the way you want. With there's going to be pull downs, so you'll be able to upgrade. Our Optimum Tactical is our stock trigger. Their fixed 3.5 pound drop in is our stock trigger. Then you can upgrade it to their adjustable match grade or to an AR Gold trigger. You'll be able to upgrade your bolt carrier. You'll be able to upgrade your gas system. You'll be able to upgrade your muzzle brake. And then we will ship it to your FFL. That said, we are signing up dealers and distributors, and so that they can offer them in their brick and mortar stores or on their websites as well.
Yeah. So when our first rifle is getting delivered in actual shooter's hands?
At the launch party.
Okay. All right.
So we're going to let the people at the launch party, we're going to set up most of our booth or a portion of our booth from SHOT Show and kind of give them a SHOT Show experience, because the majority of them don't get to go to SHOT Show.
Yeah.
So we thought it'd be kind of cool. They were nice enough to do this and come out for it and support us, that we're going to set up and give them a SHOT Show experience. But then we're going to let them buy the rifles we had on the wall, the pre-production models
cool.
from the show, from our booth. And then if those sell out, then they can place orders and configure what they want, and then 6 to 8 weeks later, they'll have their Evolve rifle in their hands.
Neat. All right, now both of you guys are in the industry, so I kind of want to hear, the truth. So positive, negatives. How do you guys feel that influencers, ambassadors, or sponsored shooters helps your business? And is there any negatives to some of that too? Yep. Do we need alcohol, David?
Sadly,
I need to go get something.
This is water. All of that form of advertising, it is the way it is. No matter how you feel about it, good, bad, or in the middle, influencers and brand ambassadors, that is the way of the future. Social media is the way business is done now. Am I a fan of it? No, but it is what it is. But if I didn't have to do social media, I would not have our beautiful queen of social media, Kat, in the 51Fifty and Optimum family, as David's cheering her on as well. Because Kat handles both of ours for us. Poor girl.
She's a badass. Dude, that's hard to do. Yeah.
Kat, you got to come in front of the video.
Yeah, you should come say hey.
Come say hey.
You might as well. You're there.
Come on.
Yeah, send her the link. She can jump in real quick.
Tina.
As far as brand ambassadors, I think that I actually think is an important part of the thing. David, Mama D, my wife, and I all talk about when we're going to choose a brand ambassador, competitive shooter, whatever, and what we bring to the table for them, but more just as important, because we believe that the relationship needs to be mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
It has to work both ways. What are they bringing for us as well? Demographically, so on and so forth. And so those are all things the three of us weigh when we're looking to talk to a competitive shooter / brand ambassador.
Yep.
We have not gone down the influencer route. I am friends with a couple of them. Love them dearly. I give them shit. They give me shit. It is what it is. But that's something that's not an avenue we've gone down as of yet. I know that at some point we'll probably have to dip our toes in that.
Sure. David, you're just going to plead the fifth?
Ditto.
Thank you for that valuable insight, Tom.
Awesome. Now, in terms of you guys signing up dealers and stuff, that's pretty exciting. What was that first deal, like you said, from kind of a stranger, right? What did that mean to you as a business owner, and what did that make you feel like as an entrepreneur? I know it sounds silly, but I do want to talk about some of that stuff.
For someone to blindly say, I'm in, I want to be your first dealer, and they've never seen it, touched it, not a picture, anything. Mm-hmm. I ended up showing them a rough, basically computer drawing of that was actually not the actual model we produced. Mm-hmm. So it was a couple generations ago of CAD, screen capture. He's like, nope, I'm in. I want to be the first one to offer that. It's a really cool feeling. It's really humbling. It kind of justifies. It makes you feel like you're justified in the hard work you spent the last 2 years, concentrating on the data. 4 or 5 years of overall, but the last 2 years just back and forth on the data. The verbal abuse I endure, it's God.
From David alone.
I'm a very shy person myself, so I didn't give him any crap.
Bullshit.
Hi,
I'm now doing 30 minutes now.
There he is. There it is.
Oh God. It's super rewarding. Now, and did you guys, I guess dumb question, because I don't even know, do you have a full-time job? Did you save up to do this? And how'd you make that switch into doing this? That's a lot of investment and time and money.
Yes, it's a lot.
Yes.
We already have the machine shop end of it. So, and I have my partner in the machine shop. So coming up to SHOT Show, I think beginning of December, he basically deals with all the other stuff, and I concentrated on SHOT Show and getting and getting something put together for it. So.
And me, I was 19 years in the car, just shy of 19 years actually, in the auto industry, running finance departments for dealerships, and retired on New Year's Eve, all in. My wife and I paid for all of the development up to that point, or up to a certain point, just out of our earnings, and got some, a couple small business loans to get us to where we are, and just, at some point you have to, and she's over here in the side saying you pray. You have to have faith and believe in your product and what you're putting out there, and take the leap, no business.
You also have to have the right connections as well. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that I noticed about Keith, that he does have a lot of connections in the industry to get stuff like this out there. So,
yeah.
Well, I'm lucky enough to have what I think is probably one of the best engineers and machinists that I could ever hope to have as a partner.
So cute.
Stop!
No, stop it. No, I mean, that's huge. I mean, first of all, as an entrepreneur working with anyone, you have to trust them with your life, your business, your well-being. That's why I do not have a business partner with my business. So, kudos to you for finding that person. But yeah, it's quite
David's someone I could trust my family with. I know that if something happened to me tomorrow, 100%, I'm fine knowing my family's taken care of. He will carry on with 51Fifty and make sure, and vice versa. Something happens to him, I'm going to make sure that I keep selling his products. I'll work with Marty and make sure that his, his family is taken care of. And that, that's been both spoken and unspoken between us since we formed this partnership.
That's cool.
Should I cry now?
Mm-hmm.
No, after bourbon. That's the rule. We have to have bourbon first.
All right.
Fair enough. Yeah. So actually, you already touched on it. Do you want to leave some space and talk about some of the connections and partnerships and support you've received from some of the companies? I mean, we already know Spectre Holsters is the dude. Steve was there.
Yeah. Steve.
Yeah.
Don't inflate his ego. All right.
I don't know who this guy is. Who is he?
Mr. McCuddles.
You only spent 5 days with him in Vegas,
that's
David.
Yeah, Peaches McCuddles.
Peaches McCuddles? Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
He's going to murder y'all. Recorded.
Well, he'll find out when he watches this, like the rest of the crowd, and then I'll get an angry text. And so will David. Obviously starting, I met Steve last April at a charity shoot. We had our struggle rifle out there doing David was there too, doing 1,000-yard shoot for Veteran Outdoors. And that's our first time meeting him. And we just clicked and gone from there. He's made more holsters, mag carriers, and other stuff for me that I honestly can count at this point. Him and Matt took the plunge and put in Cerakote literally just to be able to be our coder in-house. So they're 15 minutes away, door to door, from where we're putting the guns together. And he was the valuable asset in our booth, believe me. And the connections he brought to the table from in the industry.
Huge.
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 Been awesome. He's definitely part of the 51Fifty family. Elfman Tactical, Art Elfman and Jeff Taylor out there. From the day I reached out, Art Sr., who unfortunately recently passed away, was my first contact there, and I've gotten to know those guys really, really well. And anything I need, they have always stepped up, and the same on my end. If they needed anything, they call me. Hey, we need something for media, social media, whatever. And okay, tell me what on one of our guns, and I'll get them some high-res digital files so they have what they need. It's just been very lucky because of our approach that everybody has to have a benefit. It's not a one-way street, no matter what the product or relationship or situation. I think that opens a lot of doors when you tell them, look, I want you to get paid. Steve, when he was painting our SHOT Show guns and making some stuff for our booth, was just going to charge us cost. And we're just like, no, you own your own small business. You're self-employed. You have a right to make some money and pay your bills. And, and I think that goes a long ways with people. You're not trying to nickel and dime them down to nothing.
It does. It does. Yep. Yeah. That's what people don't get about entrepreneurs. Friends and family should be the ones paying full price, or doing more to share. Like, even if they're not buying, right? Like clicking and sharing a link, tagging someone in a post, talking about it with people, or just letting people borrow if they have the product themselves. It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how the community grows. And, we got to keep doing that. And everybody needs to keep lifting each other up and helping each other out.
But David said it's a cutthroat industry.
When I got into it, it was a cutthroat industry. But I have to say that down through the years, it's amazing how many people are not like that, who have gotten into it and they're like, no, I want to help out. I want to do stuff. And like a huge amount of it is the giving back, and I'm talking about the stories that you hear about, fallen officers and how their families just didn't have anything to cope with it. And like you said, the gun industry stepped up and stuff gets taken care of. And it's huge like that. So there is a turn to the positive, I would say, lately within the last 5 years, where it's not, you're not asking yourself, what the heck did I do? Why am I getting screwed? So, but you're going to screw me. You're going to screw me. You've got your reasons. I'm not one of those people who holds a grudge.
Yeah.
Well, and to expand on what he's saying, I mean, if people came by our booth when some of these vets were coming by, some of the stories they were telling about, in even law enforcement, how if they had the system we designed, they were very emotional that they could have saved lives, because time is of the essence when you're in a firefight or a tough situation. I mean, that's the reason that David and I and my wife all want to help these charities that help these people out, is because we had a guy come, multiple people come through with different injuries, disabilities, paralyses, whatever, and those are the people that really motivate us to want to sell more rifles, one that fit their needs and make it more available for them to shoot, but also do then the organizations that help them out be able to do more for them. Yeah.
I know you mentioned earlier with the barrel swap with LEOs and stuff. We didn't really go over that, how the upper can change into different calibers, obviously different lengths and stuff. But can you talk about all the different lowers and uppers you're kind of putting together?
So right now we have the 9mm and lower, which obviously you can do 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, and 357 SIG.
Nice.
We're working on the next variant will be 10mm 45 on the PCCs. We have AR-15. We'll have the AR-10 out, and then we're toying with the idea, after we got those out in production, of a dedicated 9.5-inch barreled 380 auto geared towards home defense, close quarters, something light recoil. You're not worried about over penetration, shooting through walls and all that. But also something that we can gear ergonomically towards women and new shooters.
Yeah. And then you ran over your gun with your truck.
He did not run over his gun. His wife did.
Yeah, that's even better. Good for her. Get some of that frustration
Twice.
Okay, talk about testing though, for real. Ammo testing, gun running over by a truck. Like, what all did you do to this thing?
So by the way, 357 SIG is a very cantankerous round. It is very sensitive to magazine spring rates, and even magazine volume affects its reliability and feeding.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we played with that. It was ran over twice. It was slammed on rocks. It was thrown 20 feet in the air. It locked, it unlocked, and it would literally dropped an entire 15-round mag of 357 SIG.
Pretty cool.
We did have some ammo issues, because all the ammo was actually given to me by a friend of mine who's a former officer, and some of the ammo was so old that the brass casing literally split right in half perfectly. And the crimped crown actually got stuck in the chamber of the barrel.
Of course. God.
That happened twice.
It's free though. It's free ammo. Can't play. It's free.
It's the right price because 357 STIG is not only cantankerous, but it's expensive.
Yeah, David, what's some of like the torture testing or metal quality and all that you take care to in the machine shop?
So we actually have a guy that we deal with who's retired military, 30 years, Navy, special ops guy that he worked for Colt, and that's what he did for a living in Colt. One of the things he would test all the guns. He's actually, we have a platform. If Keith shows you the gun, you'll see that it's still, it's not coated.
Yeah, in the white.
Right. So if he turns it upside down, you'll see all the bad cuts and all that stuff like that. So we have another one in the shop that's similar to that. Yeah, it's in an AR platform. That's going to be put together, and he will put it through a military test.
Okay.
On hot, cold, mud, freezing, water, submersed, all the different things that he would have done. Not just in his job, but in his military career too. So, but I mean, materials, we don't get any crap materials from overseas, stuff like that. And you can get some really crappy materials.
You're from overseas, Dave.
I'm not talking about that side of the seas. You can get there from here if you go further, but I'm talking the other side. So, all our materials are certified. They all come in with their different heat treat processes and their chemical makeups and stuff like that. So you have to trust your supplier, and the supplier has never screwed us with our materials. So, that's all I can say about that.
Now, KB shocked me because we talked offline about this. About the MSRP, I mean, even just starting out on the base model, you want to share that? Because I think that's pretty impressive that you could do that price.
So base model starts at $1,800, depending on how you configure it. Obviously, you can go up from there. That again comes standard with an Elfman 3.5-pound trigger and speed safety. It's going to have a high-end American-made barrel that most people would be buying aftermarket to upgrade their barrels on some of the lesser expensive rifles they buy. Out of the box, basically, we wanted to build a rifle that 85% or more of the gun buying crowd could afford to buy and would not need to worry about upgrading. It's already going to have the trigger that most people upgrade to, and then you can upgrade the trigger from there. Our guns will ship with a hard case. Something that's important to us is that every single component in our trigger, down to the hard case, is actually American made.
No crap from overseas.
None.
No crap from overseas.
That was very scientific, David.
You used exact scientific terms. So,
right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a little bit bougie in that I definitely like custom. I like some engraving. I like some color. I like all of that. So what is Steve going to be capable of as far as Cerakote and stuff? And what are some other things that you think you guys can offer?
Well, I mean, naturally, he's going to have all the unicorn type stuff hands down over anybody else. No problem. But
Peaches.
His name is Peaches.
His formal name is Mr. McCuddles. But I mean, like, in our booth, we just for giggles and laughs, we did a Gucci gun. And for as much as he griped, that gun stopped traffic and got more attention than I ever expected it to.
Yeah.
I mean, gold trigger, polished gold bolt carrier, literally all gold and midnight or burnt bronze.
Yep. Even
the muzzle brake gold. Yes. So, he's that, so literally anything people want. Engraving, we're going to be getting our laser at the end of the month. So, people have the option to add personalized engraving. So, they're doing a rifle for retirement or anniversary, someone forgot someone's birthday, whatever, they'll be able to add a little personalized engraving, Hallmark, that Hallmark holidays like Valentine's Day, whatever.
If you live in Texas.
Hey, every gun, you got a gun guy likes chocolate, right there.
You can't beat it.
I can be interpreted in so many different
our
ways.
standard colors.
What?
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
So our standard colors are Fool's Chocolate, Desert Battle, which is a battle worn color, not FDE,
Okay.
and black. And then they can pay if they want to do a custom Cerakote. So, not a problem. Whatever you guys want to do. Competitive shooters, obviously, if we're sponsoring them, then we're going to try and our colors are
purple,
red, black, and white. But yes, you and another shooter we know, Mile High Gun Girl, Courtney, she's all about the purple. So we already know her gun will be purple. I think Kevin Kalinda was thinking hot pink with purple spots.
Dude, if you don't, literally you can't deliver what he asked for. Like if you don't do something stupid or silly or engrave something, fine, please. You have an opportunity here to make a big difference in our lives, in the community.
But we all like to mess with Kevin, so he's good. He handles it well. He's a good sport.
David, just like hide a little something in the undercarriage, just a little something.
What are we talking about, under his kilt, or I don't know.
The handguard, maybe, just a little something.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
we'll try.
Now, actually, let's talk about that. We haven't mentioned the four shooters that you guys signed at SHOT Show, and I don't know if you have more since we talked, but I know all of those folks. So let's talk about them.
So with 3 for sure, we have the 4th one
pending.
I feel really good about that situation, but she, in justifiably, she's like, "Hey, I just want to shoot the gun first."
Yeah,
that's a reasonable request.
Yep.
We love her to death, no matter what way she decides. So Courtney Gray, Mile High Gun Girl, Nate Schmidt, and of course the aforementioned kilted gunner himself, Kevin Kalinda. This year shooting in a hot pink kilt. No, I don't know that.
Yeah, Christina. So Christina was on the podcast, and Kevin, I have written him questions. I have emailed him. Bless his heart, he's so busy, but he's supposed to be on here, so that's on him. But Nate, man, that kid has grown, not just physically, but like in the shooting community and 3-gun stuff. He's grown as a shooter in the past year, like amateur to pro.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. And he's just a fantastic young man.
He is.
Talking with him and his parents, just a great group of people, really.
Christine is my favorite. When I fall down in matches and hurt myself, she's the one that puts me back together, and I'm not exaggerating. Blood, tears, all of
it. That's my counterpart, Mama D. Oh yeah, she's got that bag everywhere we go, fixing everybody, taking care of everybody.
Keith, I need to know who Mama D is.
What? You spent 5 days in Vegas.
No. I mean, I need to see her. She needs to come in front and say hi.
Come on, baby.
She did a podcast today earlier on. She can hop in on this one.
And wasn't she just at the spa? I follow.
Hi.
It's so cute.
Thank you.
I'm glad you came. This is the better half.
How is everybody? Yes.
Good. This is my better half.
Better half. Yeah. I love it. I love is it the purple and white rifle's yours, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fancy. I like it.
Thank you.
That's the one that sent her out of the room cursing.
Yes.
I'm sure. Yeah.
The first one I built myself, and I was very angry that day, actually, for a couple of days.
So we have you to thank for this entire thing. Really?
Pretty much. I told him he needed to get on it and figure out a way to make it easier for me to put together a rifle.
He did. Man, find me one of those.
Right?
Cool.
It's right here.
That is true. This is true.
Done.
Cool. Well, see,
the only one not for sale, right, Keith?
No, that one is not for sale. Nope.
That's the OG. You can't sell that.
Yep.
So this 14 members plus Kat. Any other on the back end for 51Fifty?
No. Kat's hiding over here laughing at us.
Yeah.
I like it. Awesome. So do you shoot competition as well? Or do you shoot?
I don't shoot competition. I would like to start this year just to get the experience. I mean, we've gone to several events and everybody has their own kind of lingo. And so, you know, I don't know everything about guns. I know a little bit about guns, but I'll have shooters come up to me and I'll be like, oh yeah, I totally understand what you're talking about. And then they'll like go off on a tangent. And I'm like, I have no idea what that means or what you're talking about. So I would like to go experience it.
Okay.
How well I'll do, I have no idea.
It'll humble you. Don't worry about that experience. That's horrible. But if you get past the first one, then it gets easier. If you had to choose one, what intrigues you the most? Like what discipline? USPSA, 3-gun, still challenge? What are you thinking about starting with?
I mean, the 3-gun I think looks really cool. But talking to Courtney, my hot gun girl, she said, you know, you can start like with just pistol or pistol and this, you know, and she's like, baby step yourself into the situation. So
yep. I brought my best friend to a 3-gun match and she's never shot 3-gun again. So
she's still your friend though, right?
Oh yeah. She's the one that's in the PRS long range crap, but I'm like, I burnt her out real quick.
Did you make her pay for her own ammo? Because that'll do it.
You know what? She had to bring her ammo, but she borrowed everything besides her outer belt and her ammo. She brought everything else I brought for her. The belt, the setup, the guns. Like, she didn't have to clean the guns. She didn't have to clean
Look at David's partner.
The buffers.
He's got Angus with him.
He just jumped up.
Love it. Now, and KB, I got to get used to that. KB, you haven't shot a competition yet, but if you did, what would you shoot? What intrigues you?
I'm more interested in probably the 2-gun version, the pistol rifle.
Yeah.
I would shoot the shotgun. I'm not much of a shotgun guy.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to try it. But definitely the pistol rifle, especially, you know, I love my 1911. I know a lot of people talk trash about 1911s. I freaking love my 1911.
Yeah.
I would love to get my hands on a 2011 and try it.
I know a girl.
And
Steve knows a girl.
Yeah. But I wouldn't mind trying all of it. You know, I wouldn't mind trying a pistol competition or a distance one. We've talked about taking Struggle, even though it's just a really large engraved rifle, out to do something like that. You know, because they're bench rest. Yeah. So so doing. She's hanging with us.
She's official.
So I'm fascinated by all of it. It just no.
But 2-gun, I'm curious, would you do PCC and pistol, or would you do like full like 5.56 and then?
I would do 5.56 and pistol.
Okay. Cool.
9's fun. Again, nothing against DCC. I'm old school. I like AR-15s. And
this is just turning my gears. That's all I'm inquiring. And then people listening are be like, okay, we're going to be matches. David, if we could get you to shoot something, what would it be?
Oh, he's about to shoot his first match.
Well, I have to shoot my first match.
Have to.
Yep, have to. So we started sponsoring a range down in Virginia.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody knows Jay Monich, but he's a friend of ours, and he does the extreme long distance. The shooting organization. He basically owns it, and he set up a match. And I said I'd come down, and we sponsored the long range and the short range. And the last time I went down, he basically told everybody I was shooting in the next one. So I'm shooting in the next one. And he has me signed up for the King of the 1 mile. So
holy shit.
I guess I'll be doing that.
Are you shooting your gun, his gun, borrowed gun? Do you know dopes? Are you ready for this?
His gun. For now, it's going to be his gun.
Okay. Does he get to coach you, or win calls and all that? Okay.
Yeah.
Jay is a fantastic spotter and coach.
Okay. Because there's some matches they'll let you go to, like the Gap Grind is a pro-am where you can coach your amateur, but like other matches they don't let you talk at all. I'd be lost. That could not be my first match as a mile competition. David, I want to hear what happens.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Do you have expectations? Find out. Yeah, do you have high expectations or just kind of?
I don't know. I mean, I've shot Struggle. I shot Struggle out at 1,000 yards, and that wasn't an issue. So, it was Dustin that
Athlon,
from Athlon. He basically showed me all the different things to do with the scope. So, I don't know if Jay's got an Athlon scope, but we'll find out. He's going to train me.
Good. I'm excited. No, I think it's important. Like, building guns, testing guns, but that vernacular is a lot. And Danielle, when you said I know a little bit, so I'm like, I know a little bit. No, I don't. I know a little bit more. Nope. And then it's like, seriously, you can't. I don't think anyone in this room, on the Zoom room, knows everything. It's impossible.
Right.
The person who says they do,
They don't.
Yeah, my grandfather, who only had a 7th grade education, used to say, "The day you don't learn something is the day you weren't paying attention."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, for I guess wrapping up towards the end here, is there any advice or nuggets of advice you would tell somebody that wants to either work in this industry or develop a product? Do you have any advice or words of wisdom for them?
Patent whatever the hell it is you're coming up with.
I like it. And patent that sentence. Patent
it. Because it will. I almost killed Keith. If I had his throat right in front of me, I would have killed him because he went taking pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Not of the internals, just the levers.
Just the levers. But even still, the paperwork was not fully filed, but filed, and we didn't get the oh yeah, okay, you're good. But we were good.
Yeah.
But to me, that's the biggest thing because there are too many.
There's too many people willing to take your hard work.
Yes, and run with it, and you know, I mean, a lot of big companies like kill the small guys because they've got more money to fight you. So, patent it, get it patented.
I like it. Any other words of wisdom there?
No matter how crazy you think your idea or concept is, follow it through. You know, if I had not, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. You know, I'd still be just doing 1 or 2 crazy looking rifles a year and being in an industry that I no longer wanted to be part of. Not because it wasn't good to me and my family, but it wasn't where I wanted to spend the last of my working years. And I absolutely look forward to this. Was just the first evolution. I've already driven David crazy with the next 2 or 3 ideas. So
you really should have started drinking earlier on.
Oh, he will. As soon as we hang up, I guarantee there will be a whiskey poured.
Yeah.
Or red wine.
Oh, classy.
Right.
Well, and Danielle, what about you?
Patience. Have a lot of patience and realize, holy crap, it takes a lot more time than you actually think it's going to take. So have a lot of patience.
Yeah. What's like the team dynamics too? Like, you know, do you guys have boundaries, and do you have like rules where it's dinner table, you know, business is off?
Bound.
I don't know that word.
I know. And so my mom is a florist. My dad owned a business, and we'd come home and I'd work for her, right? We'd all come home. We'd all be angry and still talking about the business. And we go, it's too much. We had to have boundaries. You don't have those yet.
We don't have those yet.
Okay.
We just take a breath and realize you kind of have to separate, realize that, you know, business and home life are 2 different things. Mm-hmm. And obviously they're going to cross over quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I think we all care enough about each other that we don't take it personally.
Yeah.
When somebody says something really shitty to the other person.
And you got to have thick skin, I think, in any industry, but seriously, the firearms industry, I think you need to have even more thick skin than you think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Honestly, my favorite thing is when there's a naysayer or someone that to me, she's like, oh, someone said something, because my eyes light up. I'm like, let's deal with this.
Right.
Always professionally, but I love taking a naysayer and finding a way to bring them around to understand why we did what we did.
Yeah.
And I have yet to have one not go, oh, okay, that actually makes sense why you did that.
Really?
But we've had people say, oh, you answered a question that no one's asking, or silly things like that.
That's not true.
He's much better at that than I am. I look at them and get very frustrated and mostly just want to curse profanities at them and just smile and walk away.
Yeah.
A friend of mine once said that nastier they are, just, send them, blowing kiss emojis and stuff like that.
Kill them with kindness, sweetheart. Oh, there's a whole,
Yes.
I think I learned all of that in my years of waitressing.
Oh yeah, 13 years in the service industry.
So you might agree, maybe not. So I think every American should have to be in the military for a year, work in service industry, I don't care what, for a year, and like go do something with their hands and trade it or something for a year. That's what every American should do. It's my opinion.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Fresh out of high school, a year in the military, a year in the service industry, a year in retail.
Oh. Yeah.
During the holiday season.
Yeah.
I'm tapping out now.
Right. So yeah, the holiday season, I'm in the woods, which is my favorite because they're all shopping and I have the trails to myself. It's
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm handing in my notice right now.
Oh my gosh.
How many bottles do we have here?
Oh, just 3.
Amateur.
I'm trying to decide which, because you said something about I got to get a drink. So
You do.
Do the toasted.
I'm like the only Irishman that doesn't drink.
You got
Toast. Basil Hayden toast. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. This one's just a little too rich right now.
It's too bougie.
Now, in terms of like personal business, whatever, do you guys have goals that you have set for 2022, whether it's sales or, what are those?
Absolutely. His cat's making hand gestures behind the screen here. Sorry. So yeah, production wise, me personally, in the next 90 days want to see us running about 400 rifles a month out the doors. And by the end of the year, 600 to 1,000 rifles a month is my production goal. And that's across all the platforms, whether it be PCC, AR-15 or AR-10.
Yeah. So all together. Okay.
Yeah. And then obviously we have, the Evolve rifle has already got its next evolution ready for release at SHOT Show next year.
Whoop, whoop.
So,
that's so exciting. I mean, and isn't it true that like SHOT Show, the next year SHOT Show is already planned, like last year's SHOT Show, and it's like 2 years in advance. Like
we started talking about next year's SHOT Show at dinner the last day of SHOT Show.
Yeah. It's really important.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Any other goals, personal, anything else y'all want to share on that one?
She wants to shoot her first couple matches.
Yeah.
So, and that, and just grow the family. Again, the people that came to our booth, we had people circle back, and they say that the reason they circled back, actually a guy that asked us on a podcast that we did last week, he said the reason he came back to our booth, the first time he went by, he's like, oh yeah, another AR company. Okay. And then he circled back and he's like, you guys had so much energy and so many people in your booth and so many people, they look like they're having fun and interest in everything. He's like, I had to come talk to you guys and check y'all out. And I just want to grow that family. And there's people like, it's not for me. Like, okay, you want a beer? And they're like, yeah, I'd like a beer. And they hang out and talk with us, and they come back around. And she met Todd from, I forget the name of the company.
Todd Lewis? No.
Tactical.
Tactical.
Todd Lewis.
Yes. Yeah.
He is fantastic.
He's a
Todd
riot.
and I are super good friends. Yeah, dude, he's the best person ever.
I love
him.
He's fantastic.
And his shirt is all retro. Was that the name? Yeah, of course it was.
Yeah. And then we met Nate and Nikita, Jester's Tactical is their handle on, and he spent a bunch of time in our booth, and he's flying out for the launch party. Him and Nikita are. It's just and we just want to keep growing this family. 51Fifty and Optimum. It's not just a business. It's a trying to affect the mindset and the gun community in a way that people look at it as more than just about making money and making cool things that go boom.
Yeah.
and through that, being able to then do the work that the three of us care about with the charities and everything else.
Yeah, I love it.
So that's how I'm viewing this year, is growing the community and doing more reach, as well as selling a bunch of rifles.
Heck yeah. I have a random one-off question because I'm just kind of curious, because I don't know that I finally found a hobby. Do you have a hobby outside of the firearms industry that's like total left field? Probably not. It's like
golf.
We own a lot of movies.
Watching golf. You golf?
Every Saturday.
Does he really?
Saturday.
Wow.
Every Saturday.
Look at, learn something new every day, don't you?
He's no good at it. I mean, it's mini golf, but
Mini golf.
nobody talks about the other hobbies outside of shooting for real. And like someone literally told me knitting the other day. I was like, is that a joke? I'm like, no.
Nope. We
watch a lot of movies, but I have another business of my own. Like, I'm a full-time massage therapist as well. So there isn't a whole lot of time for hobbies. You need a massage?
You weren't getting a massage today. You were
I was getting my nails done.
No, this is actually good, because I wasn't a believer in massage therapy, and with my shooting stuff, about 6 months ago, I signed up for a membership locally, and I go every month, if not twice, and I get like the muscle stuff, and I have more damage to the left shoulder than the right shoulder, and she like moves the muscles. I can't talk enough.
Is this going to take long?
Probably. I told you, go find a cup. Go find a cup. Yeah. No, but for people listening seriously, as competitors and athletes and people like that are going to be shooters, you should actually take care of your body, and that's huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Massage, stretch, and not just stretching yourself. Like, go get stretched.
They do that too. It's so painful, but yeah.
Yes. It doesn't always feel good, but your body will thank you. This is your tool, right?
Yeah.
And just like your car needs a tune-up, your body needs a tune-up. And you beat the crap out of your body way more than you do your car. So you need to be nice to it.
Oh yeah, 2 days after a shot, I already had booked. David, this is important. You need a massage because you already sound like you need a Snickers bar. So we'll start there.
Hi, I'm Tom.
Oh man. Well, is there anything that I haven't asked you or talked about or covered that you want to talk about or share?
The only thing I can say, the little teaser, is all you lefties, we got something to take care of your needs coming soon.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
And follow us on our YouTube page.
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
We just launched our YouTube channel, and it's very hard to find right now until we hit 100 subscribers, and we can actually make the address go from like that long to like that long.
So what do they search? What do they type in YouTube? Just 51Fifty or?
I will have to send you the link.
Thank you, Kat. Okay.
You're welcome.
Actually, Kat, okay, how do people find the website, and what's the social media handles that people can go to follow y'all?
So on Instagram. Oh yeah,
I wanted to try to get Kat in
the
here.
soothing sounds of Kat.
Come on, Kat.
You want me to have to come on camera?
Yes.
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 Gorgeous.
This is a family affair.
It is a family affair.
No, it's important because
You wouldn't do it for me.
Well, David, I have to impress you. I have to look prettier and wear my British flag shirt.
Oh God.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah. So how can people find 51Fifty and on YouTube, social media, all of that?
Yep. So on Instagram right now, we're just 51 and then the word 50. On Instagram, that'll have our connection to Facebook, as well as I try every day or every other day to post the links to the YouTube, as well the YouTube and the TikTok. So you can
Love it.
You can tell I've been hanging out with old people for too long.
Yay.
Now, have you guys not gotten kicked off of TikTok yet or banned?
Well, we did have a video banned on Facebook.
Yeah.
That we tried to tell them
it's not.
They said it was branded content. So we had to, say it's not really branded content. And then they're like, oh, this doesn't follow our guidelines. And
Yeah.
But only one. So we're treading lightly because I don't want to shadow ban us or have them. I saw Elf Tactical got completely removed from TikTok. So I don't want to follow their footsteps.
No. And then website URL then. If we can't find you on social media, if something happens, what's the URL?
So as soon as our website gets up and running, we'll also be posting that on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, and everywhere else in the world that we can. We'll shoot it from the high mountains and smoke signals.
Love it.
It will be 51, the number 51, the word 50, rifles.com. All one word. So.
Yep. Love it.
And there will be t-shirts, hats, patches,
swag, patches,
decals, all the above, as well as for Optimum. We got patches for them, soon to have decals, shirts, and hats for Optimum as well.
Very cool.
And our site will link over to theirs once we're done getting ours done and helping them build his and everything else. And our sites will work back and forth and everything else.
Very cool. Well, all you listeners, I'm glad you tuned into this episode. Thank you all for joining in, even if it was at different points of the episode.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Daniel,
thanks, Carol. Good job, Carol. Yeah.
Good job. Awesome. All right. Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you guys. It's going to be the next evolution of rifles. So check out the Evolve rifle.
Thanks for listening to the Reticle Up podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Follow along on social media at Reticle Up or 3Gun Kenzie.